guys capitalized on the best of the weather. It's not looking so good today. And Julie and I have extended our trip, and we're supposed to be doing some scuba diving on Thursday. So keep your fingers crossed, because I will not be in a great mood if my dive trip gets canceled. All right, so today, what we've been doing, so again, we're on our portable rig here. You know, you guys from the boot camp, you remember we talked about, you know, what it takes to be portable. I don't know if you can see it over here. It's sort of in the side pocket. But, you know, I've got 3 screens that together sort of make about a 30-inch monitor. They're those portable screens. They're really nice. I've got my laptop. And it's possible to trade when you're on the road without any problem, and that's one of the things that's really so nice about trading stocks for a living, right? Trading in general is, the beauty here is we can go and pack up the man's show and take it on the road, and that's always been a big attraction for us. So today, you know, we had a couple of gaps in the first hour in our war room, and those were profitable. They moved right down to the fib expansion, so a lot of you guys were in the room this morning, so you already know about that. And then I have been watching QQQ, Tesla, NVDA, and Meta. Meta's been sort of the big payday today, because it's been very, very orderly in the way that it moves through the bands. So let's take a look at the charts and talk about the strategy for the afternoon. Here we go. So you can see it here. So actually, I am currently, let's look at our QQQs first. I'm currently long the NQ from this inflection here back up into this range. I've got to stop down, you know, down in here somewhere. That is a futures trade, so I'm using the NQ as a proxy for the QQQ. We talked about this in the boot camp well, I talked about it a lot, but it's really the reason that we're using the NQ as a proxy for QQQ is QQQ sucks up a lot of dollars. And you know, when you're trying to trade these other things that are $500 a share, you know, $600 a share, and video was over $1,000 a share until you know, until Monday morning. When you're trying to trade those other things, it's nice to be able to have a vehicle for the QQQs that can get you in and out of the price action with about the same magnitude of a move as the Q. And one contract is like trading 800 shares of the QQQ, so it's a healthy sized position, and you know, it reacts and it behaves exactly the way that the QQQ does. As a matter of fact, the QQQ is really just a reflection of what's going on in the NQ anyway, so that's why we're focused there. So I'm long from the confluence. You can see here that, you know, let's review this again. We talked about a lot at boot camp, but I feel like confluence is the thing that probably got you know, shortchanged a little bit, that we didn't get deeper into that. Lots of good questions you guys had at that thing. I mean, we were busy every minute of the day. I know they're editing it right now for you guys to have the recordings, just going through, making sure the questions are loud enough to be heard, so it's not just, you know, a confusing thing to watch. But if you look here, you see that there is, in that top left chart, there's confluence between the 50% fib retracement, the VWAP for the session, and also the central pivot. And you know, as you go through and you look at these things, what you want to do always is make sure that you are conscious of where it is that your VWAP is for any given part of the day. You can see here that for this big trend higher, we had a volume weighted average price at about 464.20 or so, and then, you know, now on this move lower, our VWAP is right there at that overhead support, which is now probably going to be resistance, and you know, sort of makes for a really easy way to gauge where you want to be in and out of these positions. So it's very useful to always remember to look for confluence when you're doing these trades. Let's take a look now at the Mag 7, or the stocks in the Magnificent 7 that I'm going to focus on. First and foremost today was Meta. So Meta did a bunch of things that we really like. So we're down here is where we're looking. Meta, you know, when I say the check mark move, A couple of you are pretty unclear about what it is that I'm saying. I'm just saying price moves down below and then pops up through. And that check there is just a way of getting confirmation that I'm coming from the right direction. So this morning we did do one trade in the room that was just a hard inflection. So we were looking at this level down here before we got there, because we had this and a bunch of support back a little bit further on the chart. And as it came down through that 499.48 level, our focus became, are we going to see this move? And of course we did not. So when it was coming down into this lower inflection, the point of taking that trade right at the line or just before the line was, if it broke through there, we're looking to get out. So I'm going to do it again if it comes down in there. But you know, if it violates that 498.27 and we see elasticity down below that's more than 10 or 15 cents, just going to look to exit that trade right away. But over the course of the session, we've had lots of opportunities as we moved from an entry to a target right here, then had that little check mark kind of a thing, got down below the line, came back up through another entry. And as I said in the room, you know, if you're going to get in at 500 spot 50 and you're going to get out at 0136, that's a nice profit on that move. What you can't do is be worried about the fact that you missed this, that you missed the additional upside into 0245. So you just have to sort of figure out what your game plan is before you start playing, and then stick to it. Either I'm going to look for the big swings, which have definitely been happening today. It's definitely been running through the bands and into these new bands that I have drawn here, or you can hit and run. You know, just go and grab them as they come in and take them, and then move on to the next one. You know, wait for the next opportunity. It's just a commission, so sometimes it's better to book that gain psychologically than it is to you know, try to let it run and then have it come back down and get you out at break even or something. It's your call what you're going to do. Now we've got NVIDIA, and NVIDIA, I was saying to you guys in the room this morning, you know, I'm really pretty happy with what it's doing post-split. We still see really decent range on this. So if you're going and boxing these up for the rest of the session, you should be looking at these places that we have confluence, these places that we have overlap between you know, price and volume by price, and you know, price action now has definitely been lower. But look at those ranges. I mean, those are, you know, you've got just about you know, 70 or 80 cents between those bands. And a lot of times when this thing was trading at $1,000, those would be the levels you'd be peeling off anyways, you know, because it would have so much variability once it was in there and it was pecking back and forth on those lines. You know, sometimes it's just easier to go and say a 70-cent target is a 70-cent target, and you know, when you have $4, $5 targets, you wound up taking $1 out of it anyways, because it would get halfway there and start bleeding back, and oh, I'm going to get out. Well, now it's still got the range. It's still got a very, very good travel range, but you know, the ins and outs on it are much easier to manipulate and to control. And then we had Tesla. So Tesla ran the bands right out of the gate. I know you know, a couple of you managed to get the trade right off the open as it sort of hesitated above today's trading plan lines. I was watching Apple. Apple didn't trigger today, boo, right? But you know, I was watching Apple as Tesla came in and made its way down through our volatility bands. So didn't manage to get that opening trade there in this one. But now that it's settling in, this one is also going to be on my list for the afternoon. I'm going to watch it on the short side, and you know, we're just going to have to see how these ranges start to firm up. So this 168.72 one, you know, I think is the one that's really going to have to firm up a little bit here. It's probably more like, you know, 169.05, and then we need another support right down below there to keep us in the box. So this one, you know, 169.05 down to 168.34, 834 down to 762. Those are all good amounts of travel range as well. So I think that gives us then, you know, a pretty good plan of attack for the afternoon. It's kind of a slow day, but the trades have been good so far. The around the horn trading plan. We went to a profit target and on the first couple bars of the session, so it should have got you in, got you out, and then I think we are still in reset territory on that one, waiting for it to get back to the entry price. All right, so that's my strategy. That's where I'm looking for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to focus on those triple Qs. Hopefully my position's going to be all right here, and it's not going to start drifting lower as these Mag 7 stocks are pulling down. But on Meta, NVDA, and Tesla, I think the game plan's pretty clear. So let's get back into the war room, and we can watch these things unfold and see if we can't get some profitable